Hey everybody, Josh rving here to Bish's RV, out behind my Coldwater, Michigan superstore today, taking a look at just a camper, not a fancy pants glamper. This isn't about electric space heating fireplaces and convection ovens and ceiling fans and all that stuff. This isn't washer dryer prep. If you are like, listen, I either, I have a limited budget, or I only camp a couple times a year, or you specifically desire the simplicity of the camping experience rather than the fancy pants, shiny shoes, glamping outdoor adventure, that's where this one comes in right here. And it feels like this is the segment of the RV market that has been almost forgotten, despite the fact it's still incredibly popular out there. Now, a lot of manufacturers have their version of the basic camper. What is Keystone bringing to the table? First of all, the one that we're looking at today is called a Hideout, but Springdale's literally the same thing. Springdale and Hideout are identical. So I'm going to leave you two links in the description, one to check Hideout and one to check Springdale pricing and availability. A couple key features on this: it is a 12-volt fridge. It's a smaller fridge, but it is a 12-volt compressor fridge, which is kind of nice. Manufacturers are finally getting up to snuff on that in these smaller packages here. It's also still a full 8-foot wide, which leaves room to walk around the bed. It's a short queen from the factory, but it's true queen capable. It has a nicely sized bathroom, actually including a skylight that very few builders on the single axle provide you. And it's a full 6.5-foot interior height. When you are in this class, in this budget, there are some unbelievably cutthroat campers out there, things that literally don't even have furnaces. And you're going to buy them thinking they do because maybe you're new at this, maybe you're a first timer, maybe you don't know any better. I want to try to give you a deeper level of insight into this, and I don't care if it's our fanciest fifth wheel or this, a very basic trailer. I'm still going to pay you the same respect because you still work just as hard for that money, and I want to show you what this does well, what it doesn't do well, and everything in between. And if you appreciate how we're doing this to assist our customers and not just making videos to get the most views on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and let's get going. Now, I need a quick note of feedback from you folks. When this video first began, I'm always trying to do different things. And sometimes I'll try stuff, even though I don't like it. It doesn't mean that it isn't helpful and beneficial to you folks. I gave you a very slow-moving, quick, wide-angle look at kind of this camper's layout from the perspective of the entry door. I despise wide-angle lensing in RV videos that so many people use because it feels very dishonest, because it's not representing the RV cleanly. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have some kind of useful benefit. Anyway, just leave me know. Is that helpful, or would you rather I just leave it out? And we're going to let the majority kind of rule right there. So again, starting this whole video from the perspective of the entry door, you walk in, you stare at the kitchen and work our way around. Now, this is not the kind of, again, it's a camper. It's not a glamper. It's not something that is built with the expectation that somebody is going to occupy it for 6 months consecutively. That's not what this is right here. I will say, though, for what they had to work with, where they decided to put the TV prep on that big blank wall right there, I think that was a pretty decent decision. If you're laying in bed, if you're sitting on the bed, like if you use the bed like a lounge, I'll do that at home. My wife and I sometimes will just go to our bedroom and stuff pillows behind us and just kind of chill on our bed in our own little private space. And I don't know where Amazon Prime and commitment basically takes place after that. But you get the idea. Or if you have the dinette bench that faces this way. If you feel like adding a TV, it's not bad in here. Now, it's certainly, this isn't like a, wow, you're going to sit inside and watch TV all day kind of camper. The RV as a whole doesn't have a ton of windows. The irony about, like, people are like, man, I really like windows. And I get it. Windows are nice. They make the RV look cool. You know what they don't do? They don't keep the RV feeling cool, because windows have next to zero R value. Like that window right there is an R 0.7, whereas a sidewall is like a 9 to 11, you know. The thing is, with fewer windows, the RV will actually heat and cool easier and more effectively. And this RV doesn't have massive furnace and massive air conditioner systems. It has what's appropriate to this, but that'll actually make it easier. The thing is, this is a full-size 8-foot body. It's a standard body, so that's not a shrunken mini dinette. The thing I would caution you on, though, is because of the location of the wheel well, you've got that box under the dining table that could occupy some leg space. That's definitely quite a bit of a knee knocker kind of situation. Working our way around, though, they've done some interesting things with the power outlets. Like, this is not a bad power outlet location, I suppose, but it is also inverter prepped. if you feel like this RV is wired for up to a 2,000 watt inverter. Now, they don't offer any sort of inversion packages from the factory on this like they do the bigger Springdales and Hideouts. But you know, that is something that you or we could do for you. Now, I really like how over here they give us a set of households and USBs. That's actually really, really nice. What I thought was very interesting is they only did it on the one side of the bed, and I could get by with it. I wouldn't like it. Like when my wife and I and the kid, when we go on like a little family vacation and, you know, we go get butter drunk in Harry Potter Town down in Florida at Universal Studios or whatever, sometimes the bedside stands with the power outlets, they're only next to one side of the bed and not the other. And we make do with it, but it's, I don't know. I like being able to just reach over and grab my phone whenever I want to, and I have to get up and walk around. It's not like it's a major deal, but it's just a preferential thing. Now, from the factory, this is a 60 by 74 camp queen. That means short queen. It's 6 inches shorter than your queen bed at home. But there's nothing stopping you from replacing the factory backbreaker death wafer mattress with a true queen bed. There's plenty of room to do it. It would overlap with the entry door a little bit, but you could still walk through and walk around easily. It's not going to stop you from using the RV whatsoever. Now, real quick note, the RV does not have central air. It doesn't have central heat. It does have air and heat. They're just not centralized. That is a, oh, hold on. Let me double check the sticker. I see so many RVs with so many different things. I want to say this is an 8,000 BTU. I can't, where is it? Five? Am I reading that correctly? Is that a 5,000 BTU air conditioner? I will work to try to get some clarity on that and leave you a little note on the screen. Mr. Cousin Garrett, the RV video nerd editor, will come in and fill in the blanks that I have created. And in the meantime, I want to start sliding stuff open and looking at the extra info, like the storage space that you have here. So first of all, even though I now just officially put the bed in the way, just to demonstrate the fact that it does have dual hanging closets, that is a very rare feature in a single axle RV. First of all, the fact that it's not an east-west crawl over one another bed is that already puts this into a more unique category of smaller, lighter campers, especially something that weighs just over 3,000 pounds empty. Secondly, the fact that being a full 8-foot wide allows them a normal bed width, although again being a short bed, but allows a normal bed width. It allows for normal hanging closet space. That's super rare and uncommon. And you could always convert that over into dresser space if you wanted to. Now, the bed obviously doesn't easy lift. I always like to use the jack crank as a prop rod, basically. And frankly, it's redneck. I get it, but it works. It's effective. Keeping the storage conversation moving right along. Moving over here into the kitchen, I love the fact that they actually give us a couple drawers. And I get it, that sounds stupid, like really? This guy is all happy about 2 drawers? When you think about smaller, basic, bare budget type trailers like this, many of them have absolutely 0 drawers. So yeah, I get excited about that. And that's kind of the thing. The daily use feel features and functions of this RV, they've done a good job of. The general structural nature of things like the magnet holdbacks on the compartment doors, baggage door, or cabinet doors, that's the word I'm looking for. The fact that it's pocket screwed lumber core, you know, there's things about this. The general build of this is very solid. It's a very simple, but I think for its class and category, for the budget, well put together camper. Is it on the level of like some kind of fancy pants, you know, luxury RV? No, it's not that at all. That's why you could buy about 8 of these for one of those. You know, there is a difference right there. Now, one of my favorite features on this is the fact that when you take the tabletop off, it gives you 2 places for unwanted neighbors to sit for a little bit until you decide that maybe they don't need to stay over too awful long. But more to the point, the fact that, first of all, they just included some basic Velcro to hold the dinette cushions in place. Chef's kiss, because a lot of brands won't. Secondly, they screwed them in place so they don't peel off the walls, which is, again, another stupid problem that I encounter in campers all the time that they have eliminated here. And I would have loved it had they, you know, carved open the end of that dinette to be like a shoe garage, since that's storage. But then you have to pay a guy to cut it out, to frame it out, to clean it up. And as dumb as that sounds, because it's not a big deal, it's a couple extra bucks that they're price fighting everybody else in the market. So we don't get that, It is a sleeper dinette, albeit a small one. It's not something people are, well, could an adult lay there? No, certainly not anyone my size. I'd have to be totally twisted up in the fetal position to fit. And again, it's just sometimes it doesn't take much. A lot of brands will leave this wall totally vanilla bare. They added a single Octopus Fight Club coat hanger, and it's something. It's something better than nothing. I am shocked to report that there are some major brands that do not give us any bathroom vent fan. Now, that's not a fancy fan, but at least it's something, I don't love the fact that it's just a mirror glued on the wall. It does make the bathroom look and feel big, but this RV is already 8 foot wide and already has a big bathroom. I don't need visual gimmickry. You know what I need? I need a place to put my my toiletries, all my bathroom stuff. Now, it is a fairly small sink, but it's a really big countertop as well. And down below here, because the water heater is located right under this, it isn't storage all the way to the floor, but that's not terrible. For a small camper, that's actually a pretty decently sized storage space. Now, if you take a look here, this is what I refer to as fairly fluffy friendly. It's a basic plastic toilet. Could you replace the porcelain? Sure. But the fact is that will do what you need it to do just fine, and it does it for less money. Working our way over here, pardon my footprints in the shower, I want to point out that it is a nice rectangular shower, and they have given us shower surround paneling, which again, at this budget range, a lot of brands don't. They have also given us both a power ceiling vent fan and a full-size skylight, and that is super critical for somebody like me who's a little bit on the taller side, because you notice I can actually stand in that thing. Now, yeah, I wear the skylight like a hat. It slides right over just above my ears, and I'm just over 6 foot tall myself, plus some big shoes. But the fact is, I can actually stand in that shower without needing to consciously duck around. And there are, again, some brands in this class and price point that have shorter sidewalls that don't have a skylight, or if I try to just stand straight up, I'd cold-cock myself and I'd end up concussed and drowning in the shower water until the gray tank overflowed. My wife wondered why I was, creating a puddle dribbling out of the bathroom. That hasn't happened since '86 when I had too much to drink the last time, but never mind all that. So one of the really cool qualities on this RV are the fact that it has some very lightweight, easy towing weights and measures. The trick is, there are going to be some places that will try to exploit that in a predatory fashion to take advantage of you. For instance, when you see this RV has, it weighs about 3,000 pounds, just slightly over that. There are going to be some people that have a 3,500 pound tow capacity. And there are going to be some places that will tell you, absolutely you can tow this, just hand us your money. The problem is, this should not be towed by a vehicle with a 3,500 tow rating or 4,000 pound tow rating because of the gross vehicle weight rating of this RV. It's more in that 4,400 pound range. But despite the fact that that means there are fewer vehicles that are legally, properly outfitted to handle this, I want you to keep in mind, that means that this RV has like over 1,300 pounds of cargo carry capacity. I have seen fifth wheels with barely that. So this RV, despite its small size, actually has the running gear and the frame and the chassis and everything to be able to handle a real world cargo load. So folks who like to tow with a little bit of water in the tanks, first of all, I recommend towing with as little water in the tanks as possible. But for folks who need to do that, you actually have some room to do that there. Now, that is if I'm not mistaken, I think that's a 42,000 BTU on-demand water heater. You know what? I don't want to guess. I want to go check. Hold on. So let's turn my oops into an opportunity here. I'll teach you how to fish. Instead of telling you the BTUs, I'll show you if you actually go in person to check one out. Open the actual door and like right here. There's a little chart that gives you information. This one says 42,000 BTUs. What does that mean though? Why does that matter? So the way that an on-demand water heater works is it heats up the water either in the fresh holding tank or coming in from the park hookup line as it flies through the water heater. Now, a 42,000 BTU water heater can increase the ambient temperature of that existing water up to a maximum of about 40 degrees. A 60,000 BTU water heater can do it 59, basically 60. So, if you see 40,000, if you see 60,000, you just divide by 1,000, and that's roughly how many maximum degrees that water heater is capable of heating up. So, if you are summertime camping, this will get you a nice hot shower. And that's what this RV is made for. This is not an Arctic package kind of nonsense camper or anything like that. But if you are going to camp really early spring, really late fall, where it's approaching freezing but hasn't hit there, you may get a warm shower, maybe a kind of cool shower. And that might be okay with you. It might not. If that's a problem, I would rather you know now before you spend however many thousands of dollars this is. Link in the video description to check pricing, by the way. Let's find out now before it's too late, before you've already spent a lot of money, because at that point, you're going to be cheesed off. You're not going to be happy with us. We want to help you find your second camper the first time. We'd like to earn your business, and we'd like to earn return and referral sales, not just get you the first time. I think there's a difference there, and I hope you appreciate our approach. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Things I like, things I don't like. I don't like the awning. I don't have to like it very much because there's not a whole lot of it. That is a borderline laughably small awning, and that is without question a symptom of this being a more basic budget kind of camper, Some folks may not like the window and the entry door. Again, that's the exact same thing. That's a symptom of this being a basic budget kind of camper. Something I like, though, is the fact that this door's not like super anti-slam, by the way, but they give us a very nice, easy magnet holdback that actually holds really well. And it's not like a sharp thing, and it's not one of those cheap plastic holdbacks that tends to wear out and get broken very easily. Also, those cheap plastic holdbacks, if you forget the door is held back and you pull on it once, you're going to break the stupid thing and have to replace it. Now, you don't have to worry about that, because if you pull on it when it's held back, the magnet just lets go. Now, nothing's wrong. It's a single propane tank. That's pretty normal on a little camper like this. There's room up front for a couple batteries if you're so inclined. I do really appreciate the fact, though, they've done some solar prep here, and they've actually included a factory battery. There we go. A factory disconnect. Factory battery disconnect. That's nerdism number 37. The factory disconnect. I'm going to say that again in another video, and people are going to be like, what is he even talking about? Now, remember how I just mentioned they don't use a cheap plastic holdback on the entry door, but they do on the baggage door. So, I don't know. Sometimes there's just some interesting mismatches there, and I don't have a reasoning why they did one in one place, one in the other. They just did. Now, I do appreciate that this has a nice full pass-through, but you might be wondering, what's that stuff over there? Well, people who didn't ask, I'll tell you. They actually label this so it's quite easy. Future charge controller location and inverter prep. So if you do want to add a solar package, that's where the wiring runs down from the roof to install the controller so that the charge controller or the solar panel doesn't nuke your battery. By the way, that little black plug over there, that is prep for a tire pressure monitor. Now, this RV is prepped for a lot of things that it doesn't necessarily include. Like, it's prepped for roof solar. It's prepped for a portable suitcase solar package. But it doesn't necessarily have a bunch of those things from the factory level. Because this is the kind of camper, again, intentionally made to be a more basic, bare bones budget kind of price tag. But if you wanted to gussy it up in a couple ways that suit you, you could add a couple things easily, because they've done some of the prep work to kind of personalize it to your style of camping. And that's kind of a thing that I've seen, a little bit of a pitfall I've seen some people fall into. A lot of people tend to get into this rut where they think their idea of camping is the idea of camping. This is an RV that can work for a lot of different people. Now, like stuff like this, your stovetop actually exhausts the hot air outside. That's stuff you really want done from the factory. I like the fact that the furnace exhausts the hot air over here on the poop side of the camper. The water heater's obviously on the camp side of the RV, but it is, to be fair, all the way in the back of the RV. They also have a literal silver lining to an otherwise cloudy day. They have that wheel well guard in there. Now, if you are going down the road and that radial gives up the ghost and starts smashing everywhere. That's an import tire. It's not like a Goodyear's, nothing fancy. Lodestar tires, I've seen do pretty well, and actually, in some respects, they carry some better aspects, even as compared to Goodyear's. But to try to get somebody to understand that, who hasn't gone to tire school, they go, yeah, right, you're just a salesman. You're just making crap up now. Something I'm surprised they didn't prep for is a telescopic removable ladder, because that prep mount costs next to nothing for a manufacturer to include, and it can make for an easy way to get up onto that roof to do service work. And it is a walkable roof. They just didn't prep for that ladder, which I found like, huh, really? Now, but like they used a backup camera prep, but they didn't use a ladder prep. Spare tire and bumper. Now, the thing is, little campers like this, try not to add a bunch of extra cargo weight and stuff to the back of the RV, because the more weight you pile up back here, like if you added a bike rack or something, the worse the RV is going to tow. And that bumper ain't rated to actually handle a whole lot of weight. I'm eyeballing it. The RV's fairly level, so this will give you a decent idea of the ground clearance. It's not terrible, but this is not made to be a mega off-road RV. But one last being fair with you kind of point here. It only has rear stabilizers. This RV does not include factory front stabilizers. Now, if you wanted to add those, it's actually not very difficult whatsoever. But again, I just want to be ultra fair with you here so that you know what you're getting into. So once again, I'm going to need to leave you 2 links in the video description for pricing and availability, because Springdale and Hideout use different model numbers, and that's basically how our website works. But short of that, there are so many builders that make layouts like this. I'm going to try to dig up a few that I've had the chance to record and leave you 2 or 3 links to some similar models out there so you can cross-compare from the comfort of your toilet or wherever you happen to be watching this. I don't know. And if you appreciate how we show you everything from economy to excitement, from basic to beautiful, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time with who knows what. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.